As you can see, we are in the battle of stoicism. Is it stoicism or stoicism? I don't know. Anyway, this is a commentary about getting better. I don't know. It's getting better slash well-rounded player. I don't know. Something. I don't know. Just kind of song. There's just gonna be a commentary about making yourself better at Dark Souls or anything pretty much you do. But first I wanted to say thank you to Crucian, Tight Night Slab, and DJ Ska 3. If you don't know who these three are, they all stream on Twitch, and Tight Night Slab and DJ Ska both have YouTube channels. So make sure to check those out. We're also doing cosplays in this, and it was awesome. It was just really fun. So thank you guys. Yeah. So I want to talk about like getting better at Dark Souls, and then also what makes a well-rounded player. So the first thing I want to say is just if you're trying to get better at Dark Souls, put yourself in a situation that you struggle with. Or, so let's say you're having trouble fighting. Let's say you're in the forest a lot. Like, I'm always in the forest. It's just what I do. I don't think there's almost ever, there's like never a time, okay, no. There's times that I'm not, but it's like, it's a 50% forest, 50% tools somewhere else. What do you call it? So when I'm in the forest and I find that I'm struggling with, let's just say, spears, I will go to get duels, and I will just try to find people that who used spears. Now I don't know if that's a good example because there aren't too many people who actually use spears, but let's just say Chaos Blade. That was a weapon I've struggled with so much, and I remember when I would see it, usually I would pull out my Chaos Blade that I had stocked up, and I would just be like, alright, you want to fight Chaos Blade to Chaos Blade? Alright, I'll do that. But now, after fighting Chaos Blade in probably one of the hardest situations possible, I went 0 poise, and or close to 0, it was like 6 or something. I just had like Elite Knight gauntlets on or something that gives you like 6 poise. And I would just fight the Chaos Blade, and I remember there's so many people who use katanas that it wasn't really that hard to find people who wanted to use the Chaos Blade. Was this Crucian? I feel like it was. I want to make sure that it was, but no. Yeah, I guarantee you it was. Never mind. I don't know why I just questioned myself, but if you don't put yourself in a situation to get better at a particular thing, then you're not going to get better at it. Because if you put yourself in the hardest situation possible, then eventually it will pay off. So let's just say you're, I already used an example of Chaos Blade and stuff, but I play a lot of basketball, and I play pretty much every day. I have, I play pretty much every day, and to get better at basketball, I practice with varsity as a freshman in high school. I am a freshman, and there's open gyms, and I've practiced with the varsity players a few times. And there's actually 3 teams in my school. There is the freshman team, the JV team, and the varsity team. And I have actually practiced with JV. I mean, no, not JV, varsity a few times. And you know, to get better at sports in general or anything pretty much, you have to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation to get yourself better at that particular thing. Um, so yeah. Um, uh, so, and then I wanted to give a shout out to Polly going off, who's actually supported my channel for a while. I think it's from like my second video or something, I don't know. But I remember Martyrs Brigade mentioned his channel one time in his commentary, and I was just like, okay, I'll check him out. And he's turned out to be probably my favorite commentary person, commenter, no, whatever. I'm horrible in English. In Dark Souls community, probably. I love his commentaries; they're so good. So, and he touched up on being. He's a little newer. I mean, and he, God, and he touched up on being a well-rounded player. And I think, watch this. This is funny. I got all my health taken out in like half a second. But so he really touched up on it, and he said, there was a night that there was like people that weren't playing by his rules, and he wanted to quit, but then he realized that if I don't put myself in this situation, I won't figure out how to deal with it. And I was just like, that's actually a great point. And he talked about becoming a well-rounded player does not mean I can just focus on dueling. And I was just like, yeah, that's also a good point. And so he talked about doing random invasions and stuff, and I'm like, and random invasions, and that kind of makes a well-rounded player. If you can, if you're average at all of those, if you're average at dueling and random invasions, I think it will classify you as a well-rounded player. And I mean, it's just like, if you focus on one of those things, then you'll eventually become better at one. So, what are like the aspects of being good at each thing? So, I would say for random invasions, you have to be able to handle pressure. Like, you can't just panic as soon as two people come up on you. Just because, I mean, being in the forest almost 50% of the time, you kind of have to be careful with, what do you call it? You have to just, you can't like panic and just, you can't panic. Sorry, I paused there. You can't panic and like quit. I mean, it's just kind of, when I used to do forest hunting, I'd always panic when I saw two people. It would just, I really didn't know what to do. It was just, and then eventually, as I started staying in the forest a lot more, I eventually got more gangspanks, more stuff like that. And if you compare my first video to probably my Zero Plays video, it's just like 5 times better in my opinion. It's just like, and the ratings show that I have like 1 dislike on it, and on my first video, and it's been out for like 3-4 weeks now, and close to a month actually, now that I just looked at it. And the Zero Poise video, and it only has like 9 likes, and then my Zero Poise video has like 13 or something like that, and it's been out since September 30th, I think, something like that. The reason I slowed this down is, watch this. Crucian gets a triple pancake on me because I kept trying to toggle out of it for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. So the other thing about being a did I just say rel? Okay, well-rounded player is you can't just focus on one thing part of your game. It's like you can't just focus on dueling, and then if you're put in a situation where people are not playing by the dueling rules, they're using, okay, I wouldn't say rules, okay, let's just say the usual honor system of dueling, like they're using Hornet Ring. Okay, I wouldn't say that either, because I think Hornet Ring could be allowed in duels. Hornet Ring doesn't really bother me, but if you're using, let's just say, like, you're doing something, like, okay, I won't say flop, that's a bad example. If you're just spamming dark magic in a duel, and, you won't exactly know how to handle it if someone's doing that to you, and all you've been doing is playing with people who abide by your rules. So the more you focus on the more difficult situations you learn to play against it makes it 5 times easier to play against the situations that you normally play in. So let's just say we'll use the example of dark magic again. Someone's spamming dark magic, or they're spamming a ranged attack. Next time someone's spamming a ranged attack, or not spamming, let's just say they know they're doing a ranged attack. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Just like once you're in a regular duel and they're using a mage, and it's like you automatically know how to deal with that because of that situation that you put yourself in earlier. And so the more you put yourself in those situations, the easier it will be. So let's say let's say you're working on toggling, and you're going 0 poise, and you're like having trouble, you're trying to toggle out of like the most difficult things, like let's just say, I don't know what's difficult for people, but for me, the probably most difficult thing for me to toggle out of is, I'd say, that's a tricky thing actually. Probably something along the lines of like curved swords or something. Let's just say you're going 0 poise. Like my 0 poise vid, I saw a huge increase in my toggling skill after that video. So if you put yourself in a 0 poise situation, and then a time comes where you're doing like then you're in the situation where you're just like, yeah, let's just say, I'd say 40 is a good amount, but let's say that. Actually, most people seem to stick with like 54. You'll like try to toggle out of those things, and then even though you don't need to toggle out of most things if you have 54 poise, you'll still attempt to do it, and then when actually you need to, you'll pretty much know how to. You'll just know the situation, you'll just be like, oh, I've done this a million times. It's kind of like that type of thing. So the harder the situation you're in, the better it is. So I think when you start off with duels, that kind of transitions over to random invasions. So, because I think duels are a great way to practice. So if you're dueling someone and you're trying to practice toggling, then if you roll 0 poise, then it's just you're in the next time you're in the forest and 2 people are trapping you and trying to trap you in a corner, gangbanging you. You'll know what to do. You can just toggle out of it, and it'll make it like 5 times easier because it'll just be, like I said, you'll already know what to do. And and when you, I don't know what he was doing there, but it was really funny. So if you just back away from a situation that you're uncomfortable with, you'll never know how to deal with that situation in a real event. So I'll relate this to basketball again. When you're practicing. Ow, that one actually hurt. I thought I was gonna die there. So when you're practicing basketball and you're in the middle of like a workout, so usually I go almost every Sunday to practice with my AAU coach, and my coach puts me in really like he makes it so I'm like gasping for breath, so that when I'm in a championship game, because he's preparing for like the hardest situation and where we expect to be at. So next time I'm in a championship game, and let's just say we're down by 2, and I'm extremely tired, and I need to make this shot, and I know how to make it because I've done it 1,000 times. And I've done it to the point where I'm never actually this tired in a game. So it's just, I practice harder than I'll probably end up playing. So it's kind of just the thing where you put yourself in a more difficult situation that you'll probably end up being in. And that's the whole mindset of actually getting better at something. And I feel like this is a really important topic, and I've always thought this is pretty important. So yeah, I think that if you're trying to do something, improve upon something, just put yourself in the most difficult, make it so it's more extreme than you think it will end up being. Then you'll be prepared for more than what you need to be prepared for almost. So when the time comes that you're need to, alright, I won't relate this to basketball again. When you're in a forest invasion, your opponent has a little bit of health, and they still have Estus, but you threw a Lloyd's Talisman at them, and you're really low on health, and you decide to equip the Red Tearstone Ring, and you realize, you know what, I don't really need to be so pressured by this situation, because I have made comebacks 50 times, a million times before in regular duels, and you just know, you just don't have to actually panic in a situation as much as you would be if you never practiced it. So if you prepare for what you think you need to prepare for, always prepare, I guess, a little bit harder. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the commentary. I'm sorry if it was soft again. It probably was. I can't seem to fix this because my stupid computer mic. I don't have any other mic, and I have to go buy one. But also, I do have a question. If you want me to stream, I might try it. I think it would be kind of fun. But thanks for watching. Love you guys.